have a clue. Me never ask me, daddy, what you doing? I feel so ashamed. Can't even say nothing. I want to walk, baby, Christmas. I ain't got no money to spend. I want to walk, baby, Christmas. I have to keep hiding from my friends. I want to walk, baby, Christmas.
Turn up your radio to the Queen First Sound of WEFM 99.9.
Don't touch that's my piece. Bring out the ham, bring out the beef, bring out the pork, bring out the goat, bring out the ham, bring out the beef. Every year Christmas come round, everybody drinking strong rum. When them done drink up the strong rum, none of them just stumble upon the ground. They say when I pass my zone, girl I don't want no whiskey, don't give me no high road Malta, neither no French brandy. Just give me the pork, here we now. Just give me the beef, here we now. Just give me the ham, here we now. Just give me the goat, here we now. Just give me the ham, here we now. Just give me the pork, here we now. Just give me the beef, here we now. Just give me the pork, here we now. Here us is your road, you can show up. Hey. All over the best for man.
WEFM, the Queen Fresh Sound.
Rise and shine. Let's get ready to take on the day. Activated Mornings on WEFM 99.9 is on now.
Good morning, St. Vincent and Grenadines. The time is now 17 minutes past the hour of 7. And it's about that time we bring to you your activated morning this morning. With me is Christal and, of course, myself here, Ari, in studio this morning. Good morning, Christal.
Good morning, Ari. Good morning, St. Vincent and the Grenadines. The number to call this morning is 457-9997. The number to WhatsApp is also 457-9997. First segment of the morning. How was your weekend?
The weekend was actually pretty chill, you know.
Pretty chill?
Pretty chill. I think the highlight was I went to Taybrook yesterday. That was nice. That was a nice
Taybrook down so?
Yeah. And
oh,
up
that why your hair
that
looks out. You what your hair?
Nah, I want my hair. I just drop it down so, you know, in case a little smally passing through my hair.
You go to Taybrook to look for a woman? What's your time in this place?
You go everywhere for look for people doesn't in church looking for a woman. So why Taybrook?
Who tell you people's been in church looking for a woman?
People that be in church looking for a woman.
I don't know about that.
Anyway, so how was your weekend, Christal?
My weekend was too short. To those who control the narrative or whatever, if you could just get one extra day in the week, we'll be super grateful. Thank you so much. A couple of things happened over the weekend, but I think for me, two things kind of stood out. By the way, it's raining in some parts of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Rain was running me down this morning. So make sure you pick up your umbrella before you leave home, just in case. You know how it is. The vehicle that caught a fire at Richmond Hill there, I passed this morning, and the vehicle, well, what's left of the Suzuki Escudo is in the road. I hope nobody was injured. And quite unfortunate, insurance company and all that, somebody out of a vehicle. Vehicles are a necessity these days. And the other thing that stood out to me, I think it stood out to you and everybody else, because this was trending heavily.
Everybody else.
Oh, yo. While we are here getting tips and whatever, and raves for certain things like development and so on, an article was published that said that Barbados had the highest paying wages in the region. Antigua and Barbuda coming in second, like a race now. And coming in the cellar position, St. Vincent and the Grenadines, according to
the last position, coming in behind everyone else. St. Vincent and the Grenadines emerges as the lowest paying country in the region, with a significant 73.3% of salaries falling below the regional average. Woo.
What is the regional average? Now, I don't really like this story here. This story coming from AntiguaNewsroom.com. It was a bit basic, you know, like what is the regional average the monthly salary, right? So we can give we can say like, okay, my personal wage is below that or above that or what's not. So you could kind of compare. I also don't like that it's missing some stuff. Now, well, it's not good at all to be ranked the lowest. To be ranked the lowest. I think you also need to speak of relativity. So what is the wage to what's the term again, boy? Standard, not standard of living, cost of living. Sorry. What is the
Mhm.
wage to cost of living for every country in the region? Is that part of the report too? Or you picked out what was important for you to share for a particular purpose? I have heard people say things in Antigua and Barbados are really expensive. I have traveled to Barbados. You've gone to Barbados already. More the work. The price of some things over there, when you compare them to the cost of some things in St. Vincent and Grenadines, higher than us. So is it a case where even though Barbados is ranked first, even though Antigua and Barbuda is second, and so on and so on and so forth, is it a case where people are still upset, disgruntled, stressed out, and cannot meet financially their basic needs? I would really like to see that as part of the report. But here we
So
are.
I found a report by Statista. Gross national income per capita in Latin America and the Caribbean in 2022 by country. So first we have Bahamas with 31,000, Puerto Rico second, 24,000. But we'll take a while to name them all. So let's come all the way down to St. Vincent and Grenadines, which
Oh
is
yeah, oh gosh, I don't go all the way
9,000.
down again.
Just 9,110. And the only, okay, there are three Caribbean countries below, which are Dominica, Jamaica, and Belize. Dominica is 8,000 some, Belize is 6,000 some,
The figure you're calling
and
out is what
Jamaica
again?
is in US dollar.
What is that figure? What does that figure represent?
The gross national income per capita in
capita.
Latin America and the Caribbean in 2022 by country. To be fair, I think wages in Belize are kind of low.
But what is the
Generally
cost of
speaking.
like bread and juice and water and
And that's what's important.
electricity? You also need to compare the taxes for the respective countries too.
Yeah.
We have our own VAT tier. Other countries have their VAT. The items on our VAT list might differ or might be similar to other countries. Relatively speaking, how do we holistically compare to the rest of the Caribbean? I don't think it was. I don't think the story was.
This story was way too short for a story like that.
Yeah, it missing plenty thing, man.
There's a lot of information missing from this story. But I'm wondering what kind of news entity is Antigua Newsroom. If they just wanted to be, a little salacious, if they wanted, if it was clickbait, if it
I
was,
mean, it click all over the region. I can tell you that.
yeah. But I think what's important that people always forget when there are headlines like these is it's circumstantial. It is very, very circumstantial. Cost of living in Barbados is high. Cost of living in St. Lucia is high. Cost of living in St. Kitts is high, much higher than St. Vincent and the Grenadines, where we're paying between what? $5 to $15, I would say, on a regular food in town. These people paying some kind of prices. And groceries, it's relative.
Something to note about surveys, when you conduct surveys, you're gonna try to get as broad a pool as possible. So I mean, even okay, so they pulled out a certain percentage of the population and gathered that information. What about the rest of the population? And if you got the information from each and every single person, how far off from the initial results would it stray? But there are different techniques to conduct surveys, so I think it's as close to what it is as possible, but it might vary plus or minus.
But whether or not we are the lowest or well, whatever the facts are, we have to accept that things hard. Things hard for a lot of people, and this is usually the time of year where people get trapped in debt traps. because now they have all these attractive loan offers. A lot of them. And then people going and taking these loans and realizing that, like what we talk about, they have to be repaid. And then they end up
Some
in
point.
a tighter situation for January, February, March, April.
Next 3 years.
Next 3 years, 12 to 48 months.
Mhm.
But
The thing I would like to see, right? I have not looked for it. So if it exists, somebody give me some direction. I would like to see, as in depth as possible, a report on the cost of living, basic like cost of living needs, not wants, based on what the nutritionist would say is a healthy diet as well.
Mhm.
Because I could be living off of $1,000 a month, but I eat in ramen every single day, right? What is the figure? What is a figure, a standard rather, for a reasonable and basic life in St. Vincent and Grenadines? I would really love to get that, because everything is relative. Because what you might like to eat, you might like to eat like shrimp and caviar and all those expensive stuff, lobster and what's not, and then you complaining about the cost of living, but you could afford your lifestyle but still complaining, and somebody else could be eating pilau every single day, rice and peas, something that is lower cost, and still complaining too. So the two of you complaining about the cost of living, but you're getting different income and different expenses and a different diet. So
Unpopular opinion.
What's
Shrimp
that?
don't have no taste. I don't like shrimp at all. They have no taste. It don't take seasoning. It's just something that people go, oh my god, as I got a shrimp pasta. Oh, I got shrimp. I don't think it's nice. I don't think it tastes good. It has any taste at all. But that's my unpopular opinion this morning. What was I going to say? What are the faces for?
anyways, talking on thing in one, I feel like at some point somebody's going to jump out and say, we have low wages. That is a good opportunity for foreign investment, because your expenses or your overheads are going to be pretty low, and your output could be high, as compared to like Barbados. So you would choose naturally St. Vincent and Grenadines over another country that has high standard of wages and so on. So I mean, it could kind of be looked at. I don't want to say looked at as a plus, but it might make the investment outlook a little favorable, because the salary is kind of low. Yeah. But I mean, if you're working and you're not able to meet your needs and maybe your wants, and you could end up feeling very unfulfilled. It could affect your mental health. You could feel more stressed out.
What do you think is the average wage for the average Vincentian? I think it could be from $800 to $2,500. Most people's salary range would be
800 to
between that.
2,500.
Yeah.
The way people crying, it almost sound like below 1,000.
Yeah, but like the general, because remember, we still have to consider returning graduates. They're supposed to be paid $3,000. But a lot of people, their student loan would be $1,200, $1,500. So yeah, they consider that. And then you're renting an apartment. That could be another $500 to $1,200 also off your $2,500 or your $3,000 salary.
You have money left over?
Exactly. So these are things that we have to really consider. So what is the average salary for the average Vincentian? What is the range?
Somebody conduct a survey now. Somebody conduct a survey.
Searchlights, eyewitness
That's why.
news.
That is why so many folks have side jobs and side hustles, because the single job just ain't working. Can't pay dance, can't pay for the light. No, and the needs are getting more expensive, and in order to like compensate, certain things take time. But in the now, I'm like, oh, I don't got no time for that. But boy, something had to work out for somebody. I think for some folks, some people want more than they need.
Yeah.
So they put themselves on the stress unnecessarily and then blame the government and the economy.
But we have to consider unforeseen circumstances,
True.
losing your job, a fire, a flood, unforeseen expenses, a death in the family, medical expenses.
Consider me Mr. Insurance running in to save the day.
But yeah, we have to consider all these things, and I'm waiting to hear what the government is going to say in response to this, or
Nothing.
an economic financial accountant expert. I'm looking forward to hearing what the response is, because this is quite trending. It's everywhere. It's on people WhatsApp status, Facebook, Twitter,
Yeah, and you
Insta.
see,
It's everywhere.
They're gonna take out what would stand out to them, and it wouldn't really speak to the entire story. I don't see anybody who has like studied what is it, accounting, financial economics or something, really commenting on this without giving a lot more information and being well rounded with it. So
Well,
looking forward to
see.
it still.
Coming up next, we have Traffic Talk, followed by commentary by Cian Marshall, and we'll be back at 8:05 to talk about, once again, the issues in Layo. I saw a story on Eyewitness News. It read like a movie. It read like a movie. Who killed who for who do what for what? What's the reason this person dead? Who and who was friends before this person dead and then that person dead? But we'll be back to talk about it at 8:05. And then we have an interview this morning, right?
You know that meme where the lady is a white lady and she's just there like trying to map out everything.
Mhm.
That's me right now.
Oh, yes. No, we won't talk about Leo at 8:05. At 8:05, we have an interview with Caribbean Digital Transformation Project.
Yeah, so after 8:05
So, but we'll be back.
this morning. Oh yeah.